The Temple Mount in Jerusalem has never been excavated, but an illegal construction project 20 years ago opened the door to some major...
3 minutes ago, Jerusalem changed. Not with an explosion, not with sirens, but with signs no one could explain. The Temple Mount has never been fully excavated, yet nearly 20 years ago, an illegal construction project quietly disturbed layers that had remained sealed for centuries. Since then, fragments of history have surfaced in unexpected ways. But what happened tonight feels different. A thick, unnatural fog rolled through Jerusalem, swallowing streets, muting sound, and leaving people coughing, dizzy, and afraid. This fog did not drift in like normal weather. It dropped suddenly, dense and heavy, wrapping ancient stone and narrow alleys within minutes. Visibility collapsed. Buildings just a few meters away vanished into darkness. Traffic slowed to a crawl. Pedestrians froze, unsure whether to move forward or turn back. The air felt wrong. Witnesses described a sharp metallic smell. Others said sulfur, burned iron. Eyes stung, throats tightened. Breathing felt heavy, as if the fog itself pressed against the chest. Within minutes, reports of illness surged. Dizziness, nausea, headaches, shortness of breath, disorientation. Hospitals and clinics began receiving patients from different districts at the same time, all describing nearly identical symptoms. Doctors treated what they could, but no one could identify a source. There was no confirmed chemical release, no industrial accident, no single exposure point. Even air quality monitors failed to show spikes that could explain the severity. What unsettled authorities most was the pattern. The fog lingered longer than expected, drifting slowly between neighborhoods, pooling in low areas, clinging to ancient walls. Cameras captured thick, dark layers sliding across the city as if guided. It did not disperse like pollution. It did not behave like dust or smoke. Meteorologists hesitated to label it. Every explanation felt partial. Jerusalem has seen smoke, storms, and conflict before, but those had names, causes. This did not. A city built on layers of history stood wrapped in darkness, its people struggling to breathe, waiting for clarity that did not come. And when darkness arrives without explanation, it forces a deeper question. Is this just a rare natural event, or a warning that something beneath the surface has shifted? As the fog began to thin, a new fear spread. People stepping back into the streets noticed something strange beneath their feet. The ground felt different, not cracking, not collapsing, but soft, elastic, almost alive. Streets, courtyards, sidewalks, open spaces across the city felt spongy, as if the earth pushed back after each step. Some described it like tightly packed sand rebounding upward. Others said it felt like compressed soil breathing. There were no visible sinkholes, no torn pavement. Buildings remained standing. Yet the sensation was widespread and consistent enough to trigger alarm. Parents pulled children indoors. Markets slowed. Movement became cautious. Engineers and city officials were called. Their early findings only deepened the unease. There had been no significant rainfall. Groundwater levels showed no sudden surge. This was not flooding, not erosion. Sensors placed in key areas detected subtle underground motion, not sharp jolts like earthquakes, but small rhythmic shifts. Pressure changes below, not above. Jerusalem rests on centuries of tunnels, chambers, and buried structures. To feel the surface respond raised a disturbing possibility. The ground wasn't just soft, it was reacting. Late into the night, another disturbance drew attention, this time from the water. Along nearby rivers and waterways, witnesses reported blue-green lights glowing beneath the surface. These were not brief reflections. They were sustained movements, clearly visible, drifting and pulsing under flowing water. Videos from bridges show the lights moving against the current. That detail alone ruled out surface reflections. The glow was strongest in darker areas, unaffected by streetlights. Its color remained constant, cold blue with hints of green. It did not flicker like electrical interference. It did not scatter like bioluminescent algae. Instead, it appeared intentional. Clusters forming, separating, regrouping beneath the water. Scientists offered theories: rare organisms, underground electrical currents, mineral reactions triggered by pressure shifts. Yet none explained the direction or duration. Engineers reviewing footage noticed something more troubling. The lights followed the contours of the riverbed, not the flow above it. In some clips, the glow paused beneath specific points, as if responding to cavities or structures hidden below layers of stone. Public reaction was immediate. People gathered despite warnings. Phones recorded continuously. In a city where water holds deep meaning, light moving beneath it felt profoundly unsettling. While the city wrestled with unexplained signs above and below, the earth itself told another story. Through the Temple Mount Sifting Project, more than 9,000 tons of soil removed from restricted areas years ago were carefully analyzed. Not rushed, not speculative. Each fragment washed, examined. What emerged was physical evidence. Thousands of ancient coins spanning multiple eras. Mosaic fragments made from imported stone, marble and granite sourced from distant regions like Egypt and Asia Minor. Materials reserved for structures of immense importance. Most striking were burned animal bones. Specialists confirmed the cut marks and burn patterns matched ritual practices recorded in ancient texts. This was not ordinary refuse. It aligned precisely with sacrificial worship. No official excavation was allowed, yet the soil itself testified. What had been buried refused to remain silent. And then, without warning, rain began to fall, not clear, red. Thick drops struck stone and glass, leaving dark crimson streaks across streets and walls. People froze. Some ran for cover. Others stared upward as the sky released what looked disturbingly like blood. Vehicles were splattered. Ancient limestone absorbed the color. The smell was earthy, metallic. Panic spread instantly. Shops closed. Emergency lines flooded. There were no dust storms, no Saharan winds, no satellite data matching known red rain events. Samples were taken, but immediate answers were impossible. The psychological impact was overwhelming. Red is not neutral. It signals danger, injury, judgment. Seeing it fall from the sky shook even the calmest observers. This did not happen in isolation. Darkness, illness, shifting ground, unexplained light beneath water, now blood-colored rain. Cleanup crews washed streets, but stains lingered, seeping into stone pores. Images spread worldwide. Jerusalem has endured countless disasters, but rain that marks rather than destroys carries a different weight. As questions remained unanswered, the sky changed again. A massive rolling cloud appeared on the horizon, a long cylindrical formation rotating slowly, suspended low. It looked less like a storm and more like a wave frozen in the air. Cameras from different parts of the city confirmed its scale. As it approached, air pressure changed abruptly. People felt heaviness in their chests. The city fell unnaturally quiet. Wind dropped. Birds vanished. Even crowds fell silent. Fear followed, not from chaos, but from control. The cloud moved slowly, deliberately. Meteorologists later labeled it a roll cloud, rare but natural. Yet timing mattered, size mattered, context mattered. It passed without rain or lightning, leaving tension instead of relief. Silence afterward felt heavier than the cloud itself. What stood out was convergence, fog, ground instability, lights beneath water, ancient evidence surfacing, red rain, a silent rolling cloud, different categories, one city, one compressed window of time. Statistically, alignment alone challenged chance. Official statements grew vague: monitoring, assessment, investigation. Silence spoke louder than reassurance. Public behavior shifted. Routines faltered. Conversations shortened. Religious sites filled at unusual hours. Others avoided crowds entirely. People watched the sky more than their phones. Jerusalem's history magnified everything. This is not just another city. It sits at the crossroads of faith, conflict, memory. When something unusual happens here, the world pays attention because history has taught it to. And the signs did not de-escalate. Each became more visible. Fog disoriented, soft ground unsettled, lights disturbed, red rain shocked, the rolling cloud silenced. Patterns don't just repeat, they build. At this point, the question is no longer whether each event can be explained individually. Science may find partial answers. The deeper question is why they are happening together, here, now. Warnings in Scripture are not given to induce panic. They interrupt routine. They demand awareness. No immediate catastrophe followed. Buildings did not collapse. Life did not end. Instead, the city paused. People stopped, watched, questioned. That pause may be the message. Jerusalem has always functioned as a signal point. When signs appear here, they ripple outward. Ancient texts describe warnings that came before turning points. Those who ignored them continued as normal until normal ended. Those who paid attention adjusted their posture, their priorities, their hearts. Awareness does not mean claiming certainty. It means resisting the urge to explain everything away for comfort. Comfort can silence discernment. These signs cross boundaries: science, history, faith, psychology. One does not need to interpret them the same way to feel their impact. Unease is shared. So is responsibility. The signs do not shout destruction. They whisper urgency. When warnings appear, the most important question is not what will happen next, but how we respond now. Jerusalem stands not as a threat, but as a call to attention. And when signs stack like this, they rarely do so without reason.